Okay, so here's the deal. I have this thing called a CSF leak. It's of my cerebral spinal fluid, CSF, leak. Um, how this works is you have your spinal column, and it has a membrane around it, and inside that membrane is uh, spinal fluid that goes all the way up to the top of your spine and to where your brain is, and connects in with all that. So there's fluid around the brain, there's fluid around the spinal cord, and it's all a sealed system. And what's going on with me is that the membrane that holds that fluid in place has a leak somewhere in the spinal column, it's believed. Um, and so what's happening is that the fluid's leaking out, and it's causing a negative pressure in my spinal column as the fluid leaks out, right? And that has sucked my brain, my midbrain, which sits on top of this spinal column. Normally, it's just my brain is kind of floating up there, right above everything. It's like sucked it down onto the column, onto the tube around the spinal column, and is exerting pressure on the midbrain, and that in turn has caused the tissues to swell as they've become irritated, and so I've got tissues being sucked into the spinal column, and tissues that are swelling because they're all pissed that they're being moved around and mistreated, and that is what is causing my problems. So right now I've got I'm losing my sense of smell. It's severely reduced right now. Sense of taste is totally whacked out. Almost nothing tastes good at all ever now. Um, the I have trouble with memory, with thought. I have trouble with. I'm having trouble with my bowels. I'm having trouble with balance. That's a biggie. Can't keep balance. Can't balance. Having trouble with sleep. So my sleep regulation is all whacked out. And there are a whole host of things. So the issues that I have are getting worse, and the ones, and I'm adding new stuff all the time. So the key is going to be, right now it's Saturday. I did not get scheduled for the MRI scan to locate this leak last week. So hopefully Monday. They do have I confirmed though the scanning office has the paperwork, and they were processing through it. They just didn't get fully processed before close of business. So they should be calling me first thing Monday, and I'll get in as soon as available. I'll take the appointment and get that scan, and then hopefully that scan will reveal where the leak is. Hopefully they'll see the leak. If they can see the leak, then the surgeon will go in and effect a repair. So there's two methods of doing the repair. The first method, the preferred method, least invasive, least problematic, I guess, is what's called a blood dam. What they'll do is they'll take some of my blood out, and I suspect they centrifuge it down to get just the elements they want. What they want is that coagulating component out of the blood. And what they'll do then is they take a needle and inject it where the leak is, and they'll inject the blood there, and it's supposed to coagulate and plug up that leak. That is a pretty good method. It's not 100% though. If that fails for whatever reason, either for whatever, if that fails, then what they'll do is they'll surgically go into where the leak is and do a stitch to close that up. Once the leak is stopped, my body will slowly produce spinal fluid, which will fill the area and return the pressure back to normal, hopefully removing the pressure off the brain and allowing it to shrink back down. So that's how that's supposed to go. Now that is it's many months of recovery for that to happen. There is no artificial spinal fluid. I asked, I'm like, hey, you just like pump some stuff in there and pump it up? And he's like, no. So my body has to produce it. It has to be mine genetically, or it does, I guess it causes problems. And so we are just stuck waiting for that to happen once the leak is plugged, after the leak is found. So if things go well on the scan front, I'll get in on Monday, get scanned, they'll find the leak, and then I will get scheduled for surgery as quickly as I can. Surgery is not complicated on either side, but obviously anytime you're poking around in someone's spinal column, there's some risks. So anyway, that's where I'm at, and it's my symptoms are getting noticeably worse. Almost day by day now. So the pressure on my brain is getting a bit intense. It's causing some issues for me. But hopefully find the leak, patch the leak, convalesce for a few months, and brain swelling goes down, pressure is released, brain floats again instead of being sucked into the spinal column, and I return to normal. Yay! And I'm told that would be a good thing. I guess my Mercer tells me that I'm kind of short with people and I don't communicate well. So, anyway, there you go. So now you're up to date, and I will let you know how the scan goes and when the surgery is scheduled for. Keep praying, folks. Keep praying. Not out of the woods yet.